Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Zhodiac here. We are taking another look at Kingdom of Heroes Tactics War, and today we're going to be doing a progression guide just to chat about things to do in the game. Kind of like a beginner's guide. In a sense, it will be more geared to free-to-play players because it's going to be following how to get currency as well as how to progress quickly into the game. So one of the most important key points that I wanted to focus on right in the beginning is your achievements guide, right? So rather than the dailies and the actual achievements, the path guide is for me one of the most important things. So when you go to the main quest, I am right at the end. This is the last set of quests that I need to do, and it'll give me a 4-star origin summoning ticket. But I can't go back to all the previous ones, but I must say they give a ton of rewards, so I would like you to follow this verbatim. So whatever they say you need to do that as they say it. Try not to veer off the path too much, because sometimes you'll end up using materials or doing things with your heroes or characters that you will need later on. And a key point that I want to point out, I don't think it's here, I think it's in the Awakening dungeon. This for me is what got me stuck at a certain point. I just need to look for it. Yeah. No, not the combine. This one over here. So when you complete all the quests, right? The stages from 1 to the last dungeon on normal difficulty, you'll get all the completion rewards, and then the path guide will start recommending that you do the hard stage. And as you complete the hard stage, on the very last reward, you will be getting 50 shards of various characters. I recommend you keep those shards until you come to the specific quest here, which asks you to do a dark elemental hero. If you have already passed that point and you've already fused your dark elemental hero where it says pieces and combine, when it opens up, it'll be over here. And at that time I had already used mine. I think it was Vitre, and I've fused her, and then I lost that ability to fuse a dark hero. So I had to basically camp out the chat screen, and I had to look for whoever was summoning a Vitre, and I would spam them with a friend request so that I might go to the rift and go and farm a shard so that I could do that. So try to follow those path guides as much as possible. There are tons of rewards in here, ones that help you get your first main like 5-star awakenings, because they need a lot of these materials, so then you can get tons of those as well. And there are plenty of fodder characters which will help you make your 6 stars quite easily without having to grind excessively. I still need to do this. I don't think I'm strong enough to solo the last stage with just one character, but that is very important as far as free to play is concerned. The pay to play players can, I won't say ignore this, it will still really help boost your account significantly. And the other thing I don't want you to ignore is the Kingdom Pass. The Kingdom Pass for me is also very important. You get a paid one and a paid one and a free one. And let's just go to the very beginning. This is very important. Try to complete all your quests as quick as possible so that you can unlock these rewards. When you go to the weekly missions, you'll see that once you have unlocked everything, you'll get this, where I'm tapping, this weekly mission reward, which is basically a free tier, like a whole free tier by completing all these. So let's see, there's 40, 80, 120, 160. So there's about 240. So by completing the weekly missions, you'll receive about 3 tiers. Now this is important because, hey, go back to the beginning. On the 3rd level, you'll get a 200 XP booster, right? And then through your path guide, you will receive many 100 XP boosters, right? You'll get 3-hour ones, 12-hour ones, 1 days, 3 XP boosters, and they stack. These yellow ones stack. Now the 200% XP booster stacks separately, right? So all in all, you'll be getting 300% XP, right? So I wouldn't want you to use that straight off the bat. I would want you to gear some really strong units so that you may grind through the content much easier and farm much easier. So for example, if you have Esperanza, when the game first came out, unfortunately she's not in the summoning banner anymore. I think you have Bunny in the summoning banner, but whoever your main damage dealer is, if they got a good equipment, then you can just go to the last stage, 7-1, and I recommend you do hard instead of Conqueror. If you can clear Conqueror in less than 2 minutes or approximately 2 minutes, those are good runs, but preferably do hard. The XP between the two is not as much, although when you have the XP boosters on, they can be like a significant boost in XP is concerned. And another great place to do that is the Rift. So at the moment, this event has been going on for a while now, but I can complete stage 5 for the gold or the silvers, and I can complete stage 5 for the XP fairy. Right? So stage 5 will consistently drop 4-star XP fairies. Sometimes I'm lucky, I'm getting a 5-star XP fairy, and that is awesome. And then the level 5 of the silver is 60,000 silver per run. So every day for 5 runs I'll get 300 silver just by doing that, and I'll get 4 to 5-star XP fairies. So that's great. So I'm just looking over a guide here that I wrote down so I don't get lost too much. So XP farming will be done in Tartarus 7-1. That for me is the best place to do it. You can do it in hard or conquering mode. I'm using Ingwe to farm 7-1 and level up my fodder. I don't recommend you do that when you have the XP booster. Do hard because you'll complete it faster and you will be able to grind out much more stages and get a bigger bang for your buck for the XP boosters. So that is where to farm. Awakening is also very important because every character either has an additional skill on the awakening, a passive, or they have a leader skill. Alright, so for Ifrit, for example, it was very important because on her awakening skill she gets 2 stat procs, either an attack stat or a crit. Right? After turn 3 she'll gain an attack, and after turn 7 she'll gain additional increase in crit rate. So those are very important. Lots of people might have a difficulty accumulating a lot of silver. Okay, me clicking on it went to the store. Have difficulty farming silver. So for me, yes, it's important to level up fodder in Tartarus, and then you'll do your rifts for your 300 silver if you can complete stage 5. But then another place to do it is to go to your Rune dungeon and farm the highest level that you can possibly farm. For me, I can farm floor 11, and I do that solo with Ingwe. I grab a few fodder and I jump in there, and then when I am finished farming, I'll obviously go to ruins and check out what ruins I have, which ones are viable, and those that aren't, I sell. I can easily get about 50,000 for 10 runs, depending on how many I can keep, or how many I'd like to keep, and how many of those are 6 stars compared to 5 stars, as a higher star rune gives much more gold. Or silver, sorry. Another thing to check out is the silver coin store. This is great. It's often enough they will get a legendary rune, and sometimes it will have great stats. I don't grind the awakening dungeon as much, so I bought the awakening rune. It's not that expensive when you start accumulating enough silver. In the beginning I used to buy fodder. I don't do that anymore because I feel it's a waste of silver. But other than that, you can get rune amplifiers, which can boost base stats on your runes. You can get shards for your legendary scrolls as well as your light and dark scrolls. Those are very expensive though, so I wouldn't recommend doing that in the beginning of the game. And please take advantage of the events, it's imperative. Right now on the dice strip I have done 33 total finishes. Alright, so after the 10th one I've gained all the currency I can possibly gain, so I've completed it 23 extra times, and that is 50,000 silver at the end of each completion. Alright, so for me that is about 1 million silvers that I have been able to accumulate thus far. Alright, so that is the main thing I wanted to go through, is just ways to level up your fodder, right, and ways to progress. So make sure that you stack up your XP and you go to 7-1 and you accumulate as much XP there as possible so that you can grind out your first 6 stars. For me it's Ingwe and Ifrit. Right now I do have, as you can see, I've got Thea, I've got Sif, and then where's the other two, Gregory and Hekaton, right? And for me, I am currently leveling up those characters, or I have them leveled up to completion, because I would like to fuse Astaroth, which is the very top character. She is a DPS that can heal as well, and I find, to be able to do both is awesome. So as far as the beginning progression is concerned, just concentrate on ways that you can increase your count. For me, the top 4 characters isn't that big an issue as far as the fuse. The only problem that I'm having is that I don't really want to get rid of Thea. She's quite meta in the Tower of Aggression, so I will need to make another one of her when I do decide to fuse her. So for now, that's all. That's the main topics that I wanted to touch on in this video. Is please focus as much as possible as you can on the path guide. It will give you tons of currency that you will be able to draw about 8 pulls for your 10 summons, and it should be able to push your progression in the game much further. After this, I'll be making a guide on how to finish Fafnir 11. Hopefully you chose Ingwe as your first selected ticket, but if you were re-rolling and you got him for free through the summons and you chose to go with the DPS as your selected, that's great. But personally, I know everybody has their own preferences, but personally it will be in your best interest to choose Ingwe straight off, because he's a serious carry. If everybody dies, I can promise you'll still be left standing. Mine is plus 6 starred, and then it's got quite good stats. I didn't focus that much on resistance because he has ability to transfer debuffs when he uses his first skill, but accuracy is very important because you want to penetrate all the enemy's resistances, so you want to make sure you pass on any debuffs or provoke that you need to do. But I'm just rambling at this point. If you like this kind of content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be making more guides tackling difficult stages in the Tower of Arrogance, as well as showing you a few guides on the Altar Realm and Fafnir 11. I'll also be showcasing Astaroth once I unlock her and I've leveled her up. But for now, that's all. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Until next time. Peace, guys.